Alright, hello students, I hope all of you are doing very well. Welcome to my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In our today's video, we are going to study about Standard 12 Physics, Volume 1, Unit 2, Section 213, that is Microscopic Model of Current, in which we will study about microscopic form of Ohm's law, that is a 5-mark question for your board exam. This particular video is going to be very interesting because a lot of calculations are related in this tutorial. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe it now. Do like and share the video to your friends so that everybody should get benefits from my knowledge. Please hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. Fine. So in your Chrome browser or Google browser or any other browser which you use like Safari, just type youtube.com/c/Pratik Singh Classes and it will take you to all of my previous videos or the incoming videos in time. Fine. So let us start our today's tutorial, that is microscopic model of current. So let us start our today's class. The topic is microscopic model of current. Okay. Previously we have seen macroscopic and this is microscopic model of the current, section 2.1.3. Fine. Before I start our today's video tutorial, let me say you something that from now onwards in physics you will have a lot of equations, okay, and a lot of its short forms, okay, like suppose equation 2.9, what are the things given here, okay, that I is equal to dq by dt is equal to n into e into a into vd dt by dt. Fine. So in these types of equations, if you don't know what is the meaning of n, what is e, what is a, what is vd, why this is being disintegrated, okay, and what is all other values, okay, you can't understand the topic very well, and all these topics will not be new. It will be from a sequence, like if suppose this is equation 2.9, then this must be related to 2.8, 2.7, 2.6 and also from unit 1 and your previous classes, okay. So from here onwards you could take care of that what are the equations you are learning or going to learn. It will be related to the previous equations, not only in the same chapter but in previous chapters also, and also from previous classes, okay. And a lot of integration and differentiations you have to use here, okay. If you have forgotten integration and differentiation how to do that because of this lockdown, I suggest you to go through the mathematics book or also from standard 11th physics first 3 units. There about integration and differentiations a lot of equations are given, formulas are given, and in physics you not have to deal with a large equation like mathematics. You just have to know how to do differentiation and how to do integration, what are the variable terms, what are the constant terms and the formula. Fine. So please keep these things in mind, and now let us start our today's class, okay, and the topic is microscopic model of current. Fine. Before going through this, please let us see this figure given here, that is figure 2.5, okay. Let me explain you what are the things given here. Okay, this is not a cylinder, okay, this is a cut view of a kind of you can say conductor, okay. Just suppose a wire, cylindrical wire of long length, okay, and this region is the cross sectional area of this wire, okay, having given a, and this is another cross sectional area. Both this area and this area is same, and the distance from this region to this region is given as dx, means this length, the distance from here to here is very less, okay, and here electrons are moving from left region to right region, okay, having drift velocity vd. About drift velocity we already have learned in our previous video. If you have forgotten, please go through the previous video and see once again, okay. And let me show you what is the my Brahmastram, my way of learning physics, okay. If suppose any topic is given, suppose here topic 2.1.3, okay, and in this topic there are a lot of theory, there will be figures also, there will be questions also. So first see the figure, what are the terms given, okay, how the figure is being demonstrated. Try to learn it by yourself first and then go to the theoretical part, okay, read the theory only and again go to the theoretical part combining it with the given equation and the figure. In that way you will understand the concept of physics very well and you will be able to remember the given concept, given answers for long time. Fine. So let me erase these all things. Coming to the theory portion of this concept, consider a conductor with area of cross section A and an electric field E applied from right to left. Okay, as you can see here, this is a conductor of cross sectional area A. Okay, and electric field is applied from right to left. Okay, so the direction of electric field is from right to left. Always remember this thing. Okay. Suppose there are n electrons per unit volume in the conductor and assume that all the electrons move with the same drift velocity Vd, okay, as shown in figure 2.5. Let me explain you some important thing, that external electric field direction will always be opposite of the internal drift velocity of the electrons of a given conductor. Okay, here there are n number of electrons per unit volume of this conductor. Okay, and it is given that all the electrons having same drift velocity Vd, even though it is not possible. So let us imagine this is an ideal concept, that all the electrons having same drift velocity Vd as shown here in this figure. Fine. Alright, now here see, it is given V dt. What is the meaning of V dt? See here, two regions are given. Suppose this is region first and this is region second of same cross section area A. Okay, and the gap between them, or the distance between them, is dx, and we have to find out what is the distance of this dx, what is the value of this dx. Okay, we know that velocity is equal to displacement by time, or here because this is a straight conductor, so we can say distance by time. Fine. And if you multiply this term, okay, if you multiply d by dt into t, you will get this d value. So this means here Vd into dt is the distance from this region to this region. So we can say that dx is equal to Vd into dt. Okay. Now let us see what is the terms given in the book. All right. Now here the drift velocity of the electrons is given as Vd. About this Vd we already have seen in our previous slide. Fine. Here, because we know that drift velocity is a vector quantity, but here the arrow sign, okay, that is the vector sign, is not given. Why? Because here we are dealing only with the magnitude, not with its direction. Okay, the electrons move through a distance dx within a small interval of dt. Okay, as we have seen in our previous slide, that the from first region to second region, okay, the electrons have moved, and that region's distance is dx, and the time taken by the electrons to move from first to second region is dt. So we can write here as V dt is equal to dx by dt. It is simple, just like velocity is equal to distance by time or displacement by time. Here you can say as a distance or displacement, because it is a straight conductor. Okay, fine. So we can write from this conception that dx is equal to Vd into dt. Fine. That is, the distance from first region to second region is equal to Vd into dt. Okay, now see here, area of cross section of the given region is A. Both the regions have same cross section area, okay, of the conductor. The electrons available in the volume of length dx is given by volume into number per unit volume. Okay, we are interested here to find that how much is the number of electrons between first region to second region, that means in between the distance of dx, and it is given by volume of the conductor, okay, between first region to second region into number of the charges or number of the electrons per unit volume, and we have seen that number of electrons per unit volume is given as n. Okay, and volume is equal to we know very well that whatever three-dimensional shape we have, okay, whether it is cube, cuboid, spherical, anywhere, okay, the basic formula to find the volume is height into length into base, okay, or L into B into H, okay. So here L into B is the area, so volume is equal to area into height or area into length. So here the volume from region A to region B is equal to cross-sectional area A into the distance or the length between them, that is A into dx into n. So this is the total number of electrons in between the region first and second as given in figure 2.5. Alright, now substituting the value of dx from equation 2.7 in equation 2.8, we get, okay, here A into V dt into n, okay, that is total number of charges between region first and region second is equal to, as earlier we have seen that volume in between that region A and B into total number of charge per unit volume, okay, and this value of volume is equal to A into dx, okay, and dx is equal to Vd into dt. So this equation has come, okay, at the place of A, this value inside the braces, okay, so it is equal to A into Vd into dt into n. Fine. Total charge in volume element dq, okay, is given by charge into number of electrons in the volume element. Once again, let us try to understand what is the meaning here of total charge. Total charge in volume element dq means, if suppose we take any volume element, okay, and in that volume what is the total amount of charge, it is given by total charge into number of electrons in the volume element, okay. So we can write dq is equal to E, this is the total charge, okay, into number of electrons in volume element, okay, that is A Vd dt into n, okay, or you can also say that total amount of charge in the given conductor, okay, as we have seen previously in previous slide that we have taken only these two regions from here to here, okay. If suppose you have to find out what is the total charge from here to here, we have to find out the charge in per unit volume multiplied by total volume, or we can also find in another way as dq is equal to charge into number of electrons in the volume element. So dq is equal to E into A Vd into dt into n. We know very well that current is equal to total charge flowing per unit time, or rate of flow of charge with respect to time is called as current, as we have seen in our previous video, okay. And see at the top of your screen, top right corner, there is an I button, okay. Just click that I button and it will bring you to my previous video, okay, to understand what is the meaning of charge or what is the meaning of current. Fine. So hence total current is equal to dq by dt, and at the place of dq just substitute all the values, okay, that is dq is equal to n E A Vd into dt by dt, okay. So here what are the things you will get? You will get I is equal to, see here, dt by dt will be cancelled out and you will get I is equal to NEA into Vd, okay. So this is the current in the conductor. This is how we find out the current in a conductor flowing, okay, mathematically. And if in future you are going to take electrical branch or any engineering branch related to electrical or electronics, okay, this equation will be the basic of the 4 years of your engineering, okay. So please remember this thing. And also in G or in NEET exam, every year one question comes related to this theory to find out total current flowing in the conductor, where they will give you volume, they will give you different parameters and you have to find it out, okay. But it is not as simple as I am saying you now, because sometimes they will twist the question, okay, and it will be like topic of 11th and 12th are merged together. So please, if you are trying to read these things only for your plus 2 exam, it is okay. But if you are trying to see my videos related to your G1 exam, you have to keep in mind all the sequence of the given video. Fine. Now coming to current density. About density, you know very well, that is density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, what is the meaning of current density? Okay, let us understand. It is denoted by capital J. Okay, capital J and a small j in physics are different. Capital J means current density and a small j means joule. Okay, fine. So let us start this topic again. Okay, so current density here, J, is defined as current per unit area of cross section of the conductor. That means total current divided by cross section area of the conductor, that is equal to J is equal to I by N. We know very well that the SI unit of current is ampere and the SI unit of area is meter square. Okay, so the SI unit of current density will be equal to area by meter square or area per meter square. Okay, now substitute the given values, okay, of I and A in equation uh, J is equal to I by A. From previous equation you will get that J is equal to NE into AVD by A from earlier equation 2.9, and you will notice here that A and A will cancel out, and then current density J is equal to N into E into Vd. Okay, so what are the things given here? Okay, you have to keep in mind that which denotation means what term. Okay, like what is the meaning of N, E and Vd? The above expression is valid only when the direction of current is perpendicular to the area. Okay, what does that mean? Let us see figure 2.5 once again. So here is figure 2.5. Okay, see, this is the area. Okay, area, and the direction of flow of current is just lying perpendicular to the area region. Okay, and that is what it is given in the previous slides paragraph. Okay, that is the above equation, that is about current density, it is valid only when the direction of the flow of current must be perpendicular to the area as given in figure 2.5. I hope we have understood it very well. Fine, moving on. And in general, the current density is a vector quantity. Always remember that current density is a vector quantity, but current itself is an scalar quantity. Okay, and it is given by J is equal to NE into Vd. Here N is a scalar, E is a scalar, but Vd, drift velocity, is a vector quantity. So we know very well from our standard 11th topic that we have any scalar into vector is equal to a vector quantity. Now substituting the value of Vd from equation 2.4 in this equation, we get J is equal to minus Ne square tau by M into vector E. Okay, or vector J is equal to minus sigma into E. Okay. Alright, but conventionally we take the direction of conventional current density as the direction of electric field. Okay, that is why we always measure as J is equal to plus sigma into E. Okay, about the direction of flow of current and direction of flow of charges, we already have seen in our previous video. Okay, that what is conventional current, its direction, and what is the direction of flow of charges. Okay, we have seen there that the direction of flow of charges and the direction of flow of conventional current are opposite to each other. But in general, for convention, we take the direction of flow of current as the conventional current. So equation 2.11's enlargement, that is minus sigma into E, is just written as sigma into E. This is not the ideal equation. This is just a conventional equation. Okay, fine. We know very well that sigma is equal to Ne square tau by M. Okay, and it is called as conductivity as we have seen in our previous video. Okay, now the equation 2.12 is called microscopic form of Ohm's law. Okay, there is a book back question that describe Ohm's law in its microscopic form. Okay, so you have to write this full topic, okay, with the given formula and the given figure, and it will be of 5 marks. Okay, that microscopic form of Ohm's law. Okay, fine. Now there is something important, that the inverse of conductivity is called resistivity, and it is denoted by this symbol. This is called as rho. So we can write rho is equal to 1 by sigma, or resistivity is equal to 1 by conductivity, that is equal to m by Ne squared tau. Okay. If in any conductor, if there is resistance, there is conductance also, and both are being measured. Okay. If the SI unit or the symbol of resistance is ohm, that is OHM, then it in conductivity it is just opposite, that is mho, and written as MHO. Okay, so this is very interesting. Now we will see the next topic, that is about Ohm's law in microscopic form. In class 9th, 10th, you have studied already about Ohm's law, and there was verification of Ohm's law. Okay, those terms there were of macroscopic level. Okay, but here we will study about Ohm's law in microscopic level. Okay, and this will be our next video. So till our next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.